Good day, everyone. So I pray everyone's is healthy po and safe po dahil nga po sa current situation po natin. So first, let me introduce myself. So I am Jenila Gatus, Master of Arts in Education, major in Physical Education. So let's start. My study entitled Development and Validation of an Outcome-Based Self-Learning Module in Physical Education 7. So composed of abstract, introduction, theoretical framework, the conceptual framework, the paradigm of the study, the research problems, methods, result and discussion, conclusion, recommendation, and of course, appendices. So let's start in abstract. So due to the current or the urgent demand of modules in the new normal and majority convenient choice of the parents for learners, the study generally developed and validated outcome-based self-learning module in Physical Education 7 under K-12 curriculum. The content validators were the grade 7 MAPE teachers of Cluster 1 Division of Pampanga, and the module validators were the head teachers, the master teachers of the Cluster 1 Division of Pampanga. So based on the results, it came out that the proposed module in Physical Education 7 met all the requirements needed in the module validation checklist. So in introduction, physical education is an integral part of the total educational process as field of endeavor which has its aim the development physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially fit citizens through the medium of physical activities which have been selected with a view of realizing this outcome. According to People 2020, said adopting physical activities in childhood and adolescence brings great advantage to well-being, many health benefits, and security from diseases. So, on Republic Act number 5708, this act shall be known as the School Physical Education and Sport Development Act of 1969. Section 2 said that the goal of physical education is to instill in young citizens a proper appreciation of importance of physical development hand in hand with the mental development in individual and social activities. Also, Corolla said and others 2017 revealed that the physical education or the school-based based physical activities has a positive effect, especially on the academic performance of the students. Currently, education sector of the Philippines as well as the world are badly affected by the COVID-19. So the World Health Organization or the WHO declared its pandemic last March 11, 2020. So, but the DepEd Secretary Briones said education must continue. Therefore, Department of Education conducted survey. So based on the survey, the modular distance learning got the highest percentage. So Secretary Briones said, one of the intervention for improving learners' success and accomplishment is the use of SLM. So SLM, it is the self-learning module. So that ed issued the guidelines of SLM. Yeah. So that ed order number 001 series 2021, SLM will be evaluated using a pass-fail system. This memo encouraged public and private entities to develop and submit self-learning modules to ensure that the implementation of modular distance learning remains of high quality. For this reason, the researcher wants to conduct a study which intends to address the lack of SLM in physical education, specifically in the division of Pampanga. So now let's proceed in theoretical framework. So this study anchored in the theory of constructivism by Jerome Bruner. So constructivism, it is a learner-centered model. So students actively create meaning from their own knowledge. So they believe individuals learn best when they actively construct their own meaning of new content presented to them. So now let's proceed in conceptual. So in conceptual, this study used the IPO model. So the model composed of the connected by the input and the output. Information will flow throughout the series of tasks, the activities based on the set of the rules and decision points. So according to Subicto and Alan 2014. So the first one is the proposed self-learning module under K to 12, the topics and the learning competencies of the physical education, the process, the constructed self-learning module, validation, validated, revise of the outcome-based self-learning module. And of course, the output, it is the outcome-based self-learning module in physical education 7. Okay, so now let's put it in the paradigm of the study. Of course, the development of the proposed outcome-based of self-learning module in physical education. All the topics of the physical education composed of 11 topics and learning competencies, 40 learning competencies under K-12 curriculum. So next one is the outcome-based self-learning module in physical education, the validation, the content validation. Next, the constructed of the module. Next one is the module validation and data analysis, interpretation, and next is the outcome-based self-learning module in physical education 7 revise. The physical or the developed and validated outcome-based self-learning module in physical education. So those are the steps. Next, of course, the research problems. We have general and specific. In general, we have development and validated or validate a self-learning module in physical education 7. Next, specific. How may the self-learning module in physical education be developed? How may the self-learning module physical education be validated in terms of content, design, format, or the pedagogy? Next, so let's proceed in the methods. So we have two sets of validators. So for the first set, we have 8 validators. The second set, we have 5 validators. This is the first instrument composed of the topics and the essential and not essential. So the researcher listed all the topics of the physical education under K to 12 curriculum, and that is 11 topics and 40 learning competencies. Next po, sa ating second set of validators, the module validation, composed of the 3 factor, the content, the design and format, and the pedagogical. So it is answerable by yes or no. And validators, 5 validators for experts under Cluster 1 Division of Pampanga. Next, let's proceed in procedure. Of course, let's proceed let's start in the planning phase. All the topics in the physical education 7 under K to 12. So we need to list all the topics and proceed on the content validation. Next po is after that, developing phase. So the stage 1 determine the design and the self-learning module. Stage 2 is specifying the objectives and subtopics under physical education 7. And last one po is the determining activities. And after developing phase, the outcome-based self-learning module, let's proceed in the validating phase as the expert in to evaluate self-learning module in physical education. So we have 5 experts, the master teachers, the head teachers of Cluster 1 Division of Pampanga. Next po, result and discussion. So it is the result and discussion. So the development of outcome-based self-learning module in physical education. The researcher determined which topic should be included in the module. So 11 topics, yes, with 40 learning competencies were included in the outcome-based self-learning module in physical education based on the content validation result. So the researcher considered the target learners' clarity and appropriateness of the language used in the outcome-based self-learning model in physical education setting. Next po, the result in the content, the design and format, and the pedagogical. So all topics of physical education, 7 were essential and included in the proposed outcome-based self-learning module in physical education based on the result. The proposed module has met all the requirements needed under module validation checklist. While there was one validator answered no or didn't agree in item 2.1. So 2.1 is under format and design. It implies that there's a need to improve in the item 2.1. So under design and format push. Okay, so now let's proceed in conclusion. The proposed outcome-based self-learning module in physical education 7 follow the procedure or stages in developing module. As a result, the module has met all the indicators or requirements needed based on the module validation checklist validated by the 5 So next conclusion, after the validating and developed module by the 5 validators using module validation checklist from Pampanga State Agricultural University and their College of Education, the results suggest that the proposed module can be learning material for learners. Next for recommendation. The school should offer a series of seminars or webinars, trainings, and workshops for people who wants to create, develop, and generate learning materials like po ng SLM. Future teachers and researchers can create and promote locally generated educational material based on, of course, in the Department of Education curriculum guide. So they're all based on the curriculum guide or the K-12 curriculum. So references. So in my study, we have 56, total of 56 references. Okay po. Next po is appendices. So I am so thankful because of the technology and face-to-face is prohibited po. So we conducted, or the researcher conducted Google form. There's the content validation and that's the link. And for module validation and that's the Okay, so thank you so much po. So, I pray everyone is healthy, everyone is safe po. Maraming salamat po. Again, I am Jenila Romero Gatus, Master of Arts in Education, major in Physical Education. Maraming salamat po. God bless.